What's going on, guys? It's your boy LQ, Mr. Real Deal Fantasy HQ, and welcome to the RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe. And today we're going to be talking about Travis Kelce, man, and possible pivot options for must-have tight ends to be plug and play here, being that we don't have much of an update on Travis Kelce's knee as of time that I'm recording, but we do know he hyperextended his knee, and chances of him playing week one are kind of slim right now. I mean, getting hurt right before the opener and didn't practice in full yesterday. At the time of recording right now, we do not have an update or the extent of how serious this knee injury is. But listen, you want to be ready so you don't have to get ready. So I got a couple guys for you that I think you should pivot to. So let's get right into the episode. So you probably drafted Travis Kelce in the first round, and now you're thinking he's injured right before the season opener, and now you're like, oh. But listen, I got some guys that I think can be nice pivot options, guys that can put some points on the board who have favorable matchups. And obviously, I'm not going to mention guys that have a high rostership, meaning they have a high percentage of being rostered in these other leagues. Guys like Tyler Higbee, obviously with Cooper Kupp likely trending towards not playing week one, Tyler Higbee is a must pick up. You have guys that have a high rostership trending up, I should say, with Jawan Johnson, Sam Laporta, Jake Ferguson, another guy who's been trending a lot on Twitter, basically making the outcome of being slim to none to be able to get these guys on the wire heading into week one. So I definitely want to get you on the radar with some guys that I think can put some points on the board and who have favorable matchups. And my first guy, man, it is Gerald Everett, man. He's going against Miami, and this is a great matchup for him. And I love Kellen Moore over there as the offensive coordinator who has utilized his tight ends previously in Dallas to be a focal point of the offense. So this could be a nice matchup against Miami's defense, who last season, they definitely struggle against tight ends. They were fourth worst against tight ends in fantasy points per game, and they allowed the fourth most touchdowns to tight ends as well last season. And they were also third against tight ends with the most receptions allowed. So this looks like it's a great matchup, and I definitely feel as though comfortable putting Gerald Everett in my starting lineups, pivoting from Travis Kelce. Now we're looking at another matchup that I think will be great for you guys. And I know it sounds like a gamble here, but a guy like Hayden Hurst is living and breathing on the waiver wire right now. And I really feel as though this matchup against Atlanta is definitely a nice little plug and play. I mean, you got to look at the pass catchers over there. Not many healthy guys over there for the Panthers. And I really feel as though Hayden Hurst with Thomas Brown as the former assistant head coach of the Rams and also / tight end coach as well would like to get Hayden Hurst involved early. And I definitely think he will have a red zone presence for Bryce Young because, like I said, not much healthy guys over there, not much speed over there as well that's healthy. You got Adam Thielen over there. He's still the lone healthy guy over there, but I don't think he will be such a huge playmaker for Bryce Young. Not only do you have Laviska Shenault, Terrace Marshall, also guys dealing with injuries that popped up on the injuries list, but man, you have big hopes for Jonathan Mingo, man, so hopefully he could put something together. But Hayden Hurst is definitely an option against Atlanta, and also Atlanta, they allowed the third most fantasy points per game in 2022 to tight end, so definitely liking the matchup here in the upside. Now, another guy that I think can help you guys out as a pivot from Travis Kelce is Logan Thomas. I love the matchup that he has against the Cardinals because we all know that's a dumpster fire going on over there. But Logan Thomas, man, he's definitely a guy that you can plug and play into the starting lineups just based on the matchup here. I mean, you're looking at the Cardinals, man, last year, it's a very favorable matchup. I mean, the Cardinals led the league in receptions versus tight ends, and also they led the league in touchdowns versus tight ends in 2022. So that's definitely a notch up, and they're also a dumpster fire. I don't see this team coming out motivated to play any football week one. I don't think anybody has that fire in their gut to go out there and put something on tape. But listen, Sam Howell in the preseason, he leaned on his tight ends quite a few bit. And I think Logan Thomas, man, he's saying he's healthy and ready for week one. That's enough for me to put him in starting lineups. And I definitely feel as though I'm a little surprised at his rostership percentage here because, man, once upon a time, Logan Thomas was talked about with the top elites of the tight ends at one point, just based on the volume he was getting in production. The guy can ball out when he's healthy. That's the key factor here, is health. So if you're worried about a gamble of him not being fully ready for week one, I understand your pivot from Logan Thomas, but this is just an option to get in there while you can, just based on the rostership will be trending up for a lot of these tight ends. A lot of people We're waiting on that Travis Kelce noise. It could break at any moment, any point of me recording this. So you definitely want to be ready so you don't have to get ready. Now, a lot of times people will run to the waiver wire to get the backup tight end to said player that is injured. In this case, it would be Noah Gray behind Travis Kelce in Kansas City. But I'm here to say pump the brakes on this real quick because there's not a lot that we've seen from Noah Gray. Very small sample size. Yes, he's the next man up. But man, we don't know if he's going to make such an impact to be a featured player in this offense because listen, Travis Kelce doesn't miss much time. The last time he missed a game was 2021 week 16, and he only missed that game because he didn't clear the COVID-19 protocol. So if we look at that game and the target shares where it really matters for a guy, man, the wide receivers had a 65.5% target share. The running backs had a 24.1% target share in that game, and the tight ends had 10.3% target share. So this may be a situation where Patrick Mahomes doesn't even look at the tight end because targets are earned, people. And I don't know if Noah Gray's going to go out there and start cutting up, the field. And I just don't see it. I really feel as though that Mahomes is going to lean on his running backs and his wide receivers here to move the ball down the field. So I want you guys to pump the brakes completely on Noah Gray. If all these guys that I mentioned before or shown before are not available to you, Noah Gray will be my very last option here to be putting into starting lineups for Thursday Night Football. So honestly, I find myself pivoting to other options there. I find myself not really wanting to pick up Noah Gray just based on we haven't seen much from this guy. There's nothing that we've seen from this guy that can pop out and say, hey, he belongs in starting lineups. So that is my one fade here for the tight end position if you're going to go pick up a guy off the waiver wire. So that wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports. And please make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. Let's run these numbers up. Let's get to 20K people here on subscribers. But man, you guys can follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. Until next time.